first year, second year, you read the anatomy, embryology. Can you memorize anything? What is embryo? How fertilization, implantation occurs, blastocyst. Now again there is a, any memory of the implantation? Okay, so fertilized ovum, then under mitotic division and cleavage, there is formation of the morula, and after that morula is 16-stage cell. Then after that morula, then 15 to 16 cell stage, that is blastocyst. And blastocyst, blastomeres, when it is implanted in the decidua, that is, what is decidua? It is changed endometrium, special endometrium, specialized functional endometrium needed for implantation of the blastocyst. So it is, there is a short note on the decidua. There is decidua. What is decidua? How it is formed? How it is formed and function. What is form, structure and function. So there should be change in the endometrium. Okay, endometrium. So we know from the menstrual cycle, and that is endometrial cycle, and another is a correlation. What is correlation? Ovulatory cycle. Okay, endometrial cycle and ovulatory cycle. So ovulatory cycle depend on which one? Hypothalamo pituitary ovarian and uterine axis. All axis, this hypothalamo pituitary ovarian uterine axis needed for all the regular menstrual cycle. How it is? There is formation of different hormones from the hypothalamus, pituitary, ovary, and then it affects on the endometrium. So now we can go again that physiology of the endometrial cycle. So how that is occurs? From pituitary there is follicular development hormone, that is FSH. You know the FSH and LH. Okay, it causes FSH, what was it? Folliculogenesis. Atretic follicle, then dominant follicle, Graafian follicle. After that, follicle is ruptured, and then formation of the corpus luteum after release of the ovum. That is called ovulation. So what is ovulation? In the form of second meiotic division or first meiotic division, but it is complete after fertilization. So discharge of the mature ovum from the ruptured Graafian follicle by the stimulating of the LH cells, and so many action there is. Okay, so after ovulation, then LH comes ovulation. Then there is a corpus luteum function. So fertilization where occur? In this phase. In this phase, fertilization. Okay. In this phase, fertilization and implantation. Fertilization and implantation occurs in this phase. Folliculogenesis, ovulation, and then fertilization and implantation. Now I will discuss about the formation of the decidua. That is important for you. Written question, formation of the decidua. So decidua, already you know the endometrium in the secretory phase. What are the changes in the endometrium? There is 3 layers. A functional layer and another is basalis. decidua basalis, and another is, what are the stratum? Can you remember stratum? Stratum ki? Compact of spongiosum and basalis. So basalis is remain and other two layers shedding. So changes in these upper two layers is the functional layer, and most decidua changes occurs in that two functional layer. Okay. Now who supply this endometrium? That is uterine, from uterine artery, arcuate artery, spiral artery, basalis, and then spiralis. Can you remember that one? Branches of the uterine arteries. From spiral artery that goes supply this endometrium, and the change endometrium due to all hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and placental estrogen, and so many, inhibin, relaxin, so many hormones affects this endometrium to stays in the decidua. Why decidua? There is nutritive function for what? Fertilized ovum. And there is, so when the blastocyst comes, there is some invasion of the decidua and it goes inside. So sometimes as there is invasion of the endometrium, so there is some gap, and from this gap there is some, there is some bleeding, that is called implantation bleeding. So that corresponds to the date of menstruation. So there is implantation bleeding is also one of the sign of pregnancy. Okay, spotted bleeding sometimes, and sometimes it is mistaken that it is means. Sometimes mistaken as means. Okay, so decidua, after that, decidua, what are the structure of the decidua? Suppose this is changed endometrium. When implantation blastocyst here, this is decidua basalis, and surrounding this decidua capsularis, and the remaining structure, that is parietalis. So decidua has three components: decidua basalis, capsularis, and then parietalis. In certain time, this decidua capsularis compressed, only the functional is decidua basalis. So placenta component, maternal portion and fetal portion. Fetal portion is, what is fetal? Corneofondosum, still I do not go there. Maternal portion is decidua basalis. Now the miracle of life, we can start the miracle of life now. How? So if blastomeres like this, so have mitotic division of the zygote, that is about 50 to 60 cell. Then it is division, there is inner cell mass and then outer cell mass. Outer cell mass, extra-embryonic mesoderm, and inner cell mass is the embryo proper. And there is a cell in the outer layer that is known as cytotropoblastic cell. Can you memorize cytotropoblastic? Cytotropoblastic in cytotropoblast, tropoblastic cell divided into two parts. That is, since cytotropoblastic is more functioning. That is what that forms the hormone, since cytotropoblastic. And you can now imagine this, and from the cell secretion there is so inner cell mass, there is fluid secretion. What is closed? Blastocyst. Ultimately from this the amniotic fluid is formed, and outer cell mass is very complicated. Outer cell mass is from this outer cell mass there is core of tissue, there is core of tissue, there is villi, chorionic villi. Can you memorize chorionic villi? More for your MCQ, more question on the basic part. So this is important for you. Stem villi. What is the structure of the stem villi? Stem villi is cytotrophoblast inside, primary stem villi, secondary and tertiary. At first there is a core of tissue, there is cytotrophoblast, and surrounding is syncytotrophoblast. And in when tertiary stem villi is formed, there is blood vessel. There is formation of blood vessels. So what is the stem villi, chorionic villi? A core of tissue components is inside cytotrophoblast, outside syncytotrophoblast. When it is the blood vessel comes within this, then it is called tertiary stem villi. And why this is important? This stem villi anchored in the structure of the endometrium and also towards the myometrium, endomyometrial junction. This structure actually the structure of this form the placenta. This structure is formed the placenta, and decidual septa, by the decidual septa formation, that is cotyledon is formed. Decidual septa there is comes in between the chorionic villi, and then it is formed the cotyledons. How many cotyledons in the placenta? Okay, so why this is important? This is choriodecidual hemorrhage. This is in between this lacuna. There is space in between tertiary stem villi. There is a space is known as the lacunae. This space is important to circulate the feto-maternal circulation. So choriodecidual hemorrhage. Why this is choriodecidual hemorrhage? As the chorionic villi invade the decidua and the blood circulation from where? Spiral artery. It invades the spiral artery and the open up of the spiral artery, and the blood from the spiral artery comes to the space that is called lacuna, and from this lacuna the blood circulates from mother to fetus, fetus to mother to this space. So that it is called choriodecidual space, and this circulation is important for sufficient nutrition and other all the exchange, like pulmonary function, hepatic, renal function is of the fetus done by this circulation, that is placenta. Okay, so you know the chorionic frondosome and chorionic basilis. That is chorionic frondosome is the part of the placenta. That is the fetal origin.